Hi, I'm Mayor Wendy Bucknum, and we're out here today at the Marguerite Aquatics Center. And we have a few guests here today to talk a little bit about this amazing project that's going on here in Mission Viejo. So we're going to start today with our Assistant City Manager, Keith Rattay. Hi, Keith.
Hi, how you doing, Wendy?
Just great. You know, this has been going on for a little while, and I know people are really anxious to kind of get the inside scoop of what's going on here today. So why don't you tell us some of the progress, what people can expect to see as far as timing goes, and a lot of people are probably driving by and seeing a very large structure.
Exactly.
So
yes.
tell us a little
You can't
bit.
miss the dive tower, can
I
you? Yeah, we've been at it about 9 months. We started in October of last year, and we have about another 8 to 9 months to go. Hopefully we plan to be done around March, April next year. We're making good progress, but as you know, we had a significant rainfall this winter, and so we had a little bit of delay, but we're making up time.
So you originally planned, it was originally planned to be done really kind of at the end of 18, but that rain really did cause...
Yes, end of 17.
Sorry,
that's
17,
okay.
excuse
Yes,
me.
that's all right. Yeah, end of 17 is when it was planned to be done, January maybe of 18. So we're about 2 months behind. But anyway, we're making up progress, and things are going very, very well. As you may know, we have a very large dive tower you can see right behind me here that is going in. The dive tower is kind of unique to the diving world. Each of the platforms are double wide platforms, allowing for tandem diving, which is kind of unique. It has a 5, a 7.5, a 10, a 3, and a 1 meter platform. It's about 45 feet tall, so it's a very large structure. The back of it will all have a nice blue glass on it, and the whole sides will have some of our stone that we have on several of our main city facilities in Mission Viejo. One of the other things that's really exciting is we have a very large scoreboard and wall of recognition that's gone on, that's starting to be built between the two pools, and that will have an area for people that have donated towards the complex. They have their name recognized. Yeah, it's a good way to recognize people and their contribution to the biggest, to one of the biggest projects we're doing.
And we have some big donors.
We do have some big donors. We have the Gilliland family who's donated $500,000 towards the dive tower. As you know, that was a really great accomplishment by the Nadadores dive folks to get that secured. So their name will be on the tower as the largest donor, but yes, the tower's coming along quite well.
Wonderful.
So, yeah.
So talk a little bit about what is the total budget, and what is the part that the Nadadores Foundation is responsible for in that budget?
The total budget for the base contract is about $8.5 million, and the Nadadores Foundation is contributing about $1.3 million, primarily towards the dive tower, but they're also helping with a few other things as well. So that's the total budget, and yeah, there's as some of the things that the Nadadores are also helping to pay for is a new restroom building, which is really needed in the facility.
Talk about that restroom building and where it's placed.
Yeah, the restroom building is going to be placed at the activity pool, which is the third pool closest to where the YMCA is. It will be a small building that has two sort of multi-purpose spaces for mom and a small child to put on a bathing suit or to use the restroom, so they don't have to go back to the main building. And it's about
that's where they do the lessons.
That's where they do the lessons, right? That's about $200,000, and the Nadadores are also paying for that as well.
Terrific. Yeah, so one thing I think it's important for people to know is that this facility is not only used by divers and swimmers, Olympic level, national level, high school level, all the way down to the age group where they're learning all their refinements of all the different strokes. But this is a hub of a big swim school in our community.
Actually, it's the largest, and I want to say it's probably one of the largest in South Orange County swim schools. And it is, you're absolutely right, that is one of the things that's handled in that activity pool. And it's also a great way for young kids to get involved in the Nadadores as they sort of graduate from that learning to swim to a more refined program. So yeah, it's very successful. The other thing that is going to be, there's a new swim school building will also be a part of the activity pool, and they'll be teaching the kids. They'll have a place to store the boogie boards so the kids can learn about kicking and you know, pushing off on the walls of the pool. So that's also included.
Tell us a little bit about really what's happening we talked about the dive tower, but what's happening on the actual site as far as the changes that people may be interested to know, as far as how many spectators can be here, deck space expansion, bleachers, that type of thing?
The deck space in all three pools has been enlarged, and it's been enlarged by sort of pushing everything to the perimeter a little bit farther. The dive pool has the most amount of amenities around it because the dive training requires a lot of apparatuses. So there is a trampoline pit where the trampolines are actually below ground.
Yeah.
And there'll be a nice large structure that's weatherproofed over it. There'll also be a large foam pit and a springboard floor. So it's almost like a gymnastics floor and an opportunity for them to practice their diving techniques on dry land. And then also there will be bleachers that'll accommodate about 1,000 people on the dive side.
Wow.
And almost 3,000 people on the 50-meter pool with a very, very large shade structure over that. For those of you that have come to different swim meets, it can get really hot out here. And unfortunately,
I have been to a lot of meets here.
I'm sure you have. And the sun can really beat on the bleachers that were here before. And the bleachers are also getting replaced to much nicer bleachers than were there before. And they were in time to go. So these are brand new. There will be a significant amount of storage. That's one of the ways in which we were able to capture more deck space, was to use the under area of the large grandstands on the 50-meter pool for storage. So we're sort of multi-purposing every square foot on the space as much as possible.
So just we have about a minute left. Talk to us a little bit about what we're doing to the actual pools, and there's been some improvements that have been done to the pools with drainage and the edging and those types of things.
Yes, every pool is basically, all the utilities have really been scraped all the way to the edge of the existing concrete edge of the pool.
Okay.
So all new utilities are being put into every single pool. All new plaster, all new tile work. The dive tower, or the dive pool, is also getting what they refer to as a sparger system, which creates bubbles in the water. It's like creates a pillow of air, and that system is also getting renovated as well.
Awesome. So just really quickly, there's been some important things that have been done here as far as in efficiencies, energy efficiencies. Touch on that with the solar and the lighting that's gone in. That is exciting.
Yeah, the lighting, all of the big lights, we have a lot less lights as far as poles here because they're far more efficient, but they're all LED. We have brand new heaters that are far more energy efficient. We're putting in variable speed motors in each of the pools, which allows the motors to be more efficient as they run and not run unnecessarily when they don't need to be running. So, and then I think that's
the solar. Where's this? Is
there solar? Is no solar.
Okay.
No solar.
Okay. So there's potential.
But there's potential. And there's also brand new covers that go on each of the pools.
Right.
That will also help. As you know, that's another method in which to conserve water.
Terrific. Well, Keith, thank you so much for giving us all the details of what's happening here and the timeline. We sure appreciate it, and we appreciate your leadership, because I know that you've been very involved in how this is all kind of coming about, and the design, especially that dive tower that everybody's going to see as they drive by.
Thank you very much. You're very welcome.
Okay, we'll be back in just a little bit with another guest. Hi, welcome back. Now we have with us John Hughes, who is the construction manager here at the aquatic site. John, why don't you tell us a little bit about what you do here?
Thanks, Wendy. We are the construction management firm overseeing the project, so it's our responsibility to represent the city's interests, overseeing the design team, the inspection team, and the construction team.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So, John, just for everybody, that I know what company you're with, but let everybody know what the name of the company is. And if I'm not mistaken, you also reside around here.
Yes.
Okay, so why don't you share that?
So our company is Griffin Structures, and we do construction and program management throughout Southern California and pretty much all over the state.
Wonderful.
Almost exclusively for public sector, so it's all cities and counties that do this. And we do a lot of pools, which is why we got the opportunity to work with this city. And yeah, I live just down the street in Ladera Ranch, so I've been driving by this and well familiar with this this facility for a long time now.
Well, it's great to have somebody that's local overseeing this amazing historical place.
Yeah, we're happy to do it.
Yeah, and you know, we just had Keith tell us a lot about kind of the overview, but what I thought would be really great, and you're the perfect person, is to kind of get into the details of what you've been dealing with here at this site.
Well, it's a challenging project because the first challenge is that it was built so long ago that there was really no information or indication of what was here and what we were going to discover. And so one of the challenges that we endeavored to solve with Keith and the design team, Aquatic Design Group, and RJM Landscape, is to investigate and come up with a bid plan that allowed for the discovery of unforeseen conditions while still protecting the city's interests. And so we created a series of line items and bid items to kind of plan for that in advance, so that when we brought a contractor on, it wasn't a total unforeseen situation that they were going to be encountering.
Yeah, we have had that. There are things in Mission Viejo that were built many years ago, and I will say that that is exactly what has happened. So I know that there's a lot of experience that we've gained over the years, but having a project manager with your experience overseeing this whole thing has been really fabulous. So talk a little bit about the statistics of the pool, the work that's gone into it, maybe the just statistics of the stuff that's on the site.
There's a lot going on here, and as Keith had mentioned, we're expanding the deck. So when it's all said and done, we'll have about 33,000 square feet of deck space, all new, all clean. And if you remember what it looked like before, it's going to be a refreshing, nice concrete deck to be working on. We also have behind us the dive tower, which is kind of the feature.
Yeah.
We have 1 million pounds of concrete, poured in place concrete for that.
For the tower.
Just for the tower alone.
Wow.
And it was that's been probably the biggest challenge, is taking out the old tower, not knowing what the foundation was like below it, and not really knowing exactly how we're going to support 1 million pounds of concrete right next to an existing pool. That was a real challenge, but our design team came up with a solution that pushed the bearing down below the bottom of the pool, so that there's no cross leverage against the sidewall. Which is, yeah. So we've got that. There's as Keith mentioned, there's a lot of stone going up. We've got about 1,400 square feet of glazing going on the pool, so it gives it that nice blue hue that'll be wrapped around the outside. And then the Musco lights, that's what the new lighting is called, that are LED and energy efficient. So yeah, there's a lot of exciting new things. I think the public, when they see this facility, they're gonna be surprised about how beautiful and clean and efficient and user-friendly it is.
We're so excited.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about the lighting. There are a lot of events held here.
Yeah.
And people are, there's always concern about sound and light.
Yeah.
And how that goes out into the neighborhood. Talk a little bit about the improvements.
Well, just over time, technology is such, because that's a common occurrence, is that there's a concern with what they call with light pollution or light bleed off. And so the modern LED lights are much more direct, and so they create what's called a more narrow halo.
Yes.
And that really allows for a lot of efficient lighting, energy efficiency, both on energy side as well as for viewing. But at the same time, the neighbors are not going to have this large sports field experience of lights shining in their windows. It's going to keep it isolated to just this facility alone. Oh, that's terrific. Yeah. Because there's a lot of neighbors that are very close. Yes. And people are paying attention. So when they see these very tall lights going up, they're I'm hoping this helps people to understand that it's actually a very directional light. It is very. And those lights do go off in the evening, late at night. But when there's events here, they're on early in the morning. Well, and we're putting in bleachers for that can seat up to 1,500 people. So this is going to be a very lively, dynamic facility. Yeah. But I think that the design team in particular, and with Keith's guidance, they've created an environment that can function as a large event center, but at the same time have the feel of a local pool that the average person can come and learn how to swim and practice their diving and have events, and it fits in the community well. And so then there's some buildings that you're adding on site. We've had a lot of temporary structures here. Yeah. So talk a little bit about the buildings that have been added, and we have just about another minute to go. But we have a new restroom being added, which is going to go over towards the activity pool for the kids. Right. As well as 2 equipment rooms. Right. Previously, the equipment rooms were somewhat built up over time to meet the needs of the day, and so putting in new equipment rooms with new pump pits. Yes. And all new equipment, and they're strategically located, so they're somewhat hidden outside of the line of sight, so they really don't stand out, but they're going to be they're clean, they're lightweight, they're easy to maintain, and they're going to have the state-of-the-art equipment. That's wonderful. And then there's also been improvements to the drainage systems. Yes. And that has been a big improvement. Yes. And I know that you've been very busy on that, because that takes time, because you had to cut into the bottom of the pool. We did, yes. One of the big challenges when you're renovating a pool and you're trying to keep the existing pool there is how far do you take the plumbing, because much of it goes underneath. And
Yes.
so, as Keith had mentioned, putting in the new sparger system required that we cut into the bottom of the pool,
Yes.
as well as a new drainage system.
Mm-hmm.
And so because of that, we were able to put in all new piping from the water all the way out, and then right up to the edge of the deck of the pool shell. So it turns out one of our big fears was that we weren't sure how strong and whether the actual shell of the pool would hold up.
Yes.
Because once you demolish everything, you don't know if it's going to collapse just under its own weight. And it turns out to be in very good shape and very stable. And so we can proceed exactly as we had planned.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, that is the great news, and that's going to wrap up this segment. But I just want to say, this pool is not going to leak. These pools, I should say, have been redone,
yes,
re-bolstered, new drainage. It's exciting, and we're going to be going into the future with the championship facility that actually builds champions out here. So we're excited. So thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll be right back with the next guest. Hi, welcome back. Right now we have with us Todd Conrad, who is the general manager of the Mission Viejo Nadadores, and he's going to talk a little bit about what's going on for the actual swimmers, divers, and what's going to be coming up as we get back into this facility. So Todd, welcome.
Thank you very much, Wendy. It's great to be here.
So you are the general manager. What does the general manager of a aquatics team do?
That's a good question. So the Mission Viejo Nadadores are a very storied program that is, almost 50 years old next year. So I oversee pretty much the entire operation from swim team to swim school. We help on the dive side as well, and we also have a master's program for adults. And so as a general manager, I kind of help oversee all those pieces.
Well, that's terrific. And you're here with us today. So what I think that people would really like to know is, how are the Nadadores making it through this? Because there's a lot of swimmers and a lot of divers.
Oh, without a doubt. So
where are they?
We're looking at about 1,100 total athletes that we had to displace for this facility being shut down. And so I think it's a good moment for us to thank all of those facilities that are housing us currently. There's about 11 total facilities that are helping us. The Saddleback District has been huge in helping us at Mission Viejo, Laguna High School, and Trabuco Hills. The Capo District has been big with Tesoro High School and Capo Unified Capo High School as well.
Yeah.
Saddleback College, and then of course the city has been amazing to us, letting us use Montenoso and Sierra as much as we can.
Well, that's terrific, and I know that there's a lot of people that are in the program that participate with all the local high schools. So that's a great thing to already be out there meeting those coaches.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. So we will be bringing our Mission Viejo High School Invitational, which I believe is in its 43rd year here at this site. We'll be bringing it back hopefully 2019, as I don't think we'll be finished in time for that meet next year. But that's one of the greatest high school events in Southern California. We bring in teams from Mission Viejo High School. They bring in about 40 different teams from north as Sacramento all the way down to San Diego. So it'll be good to bring California back here in the high school scene.
That's wonderful. Well, I've been to a lot of those swim meets and enjoyed them, and then I know that you've got some things happening once this facility opens back up. Have you noticed any interest in the swimming and diving world, as far as, have you been reached out to, or have you submitted for meets, events, etc.?
Oh, absolutely.
Tell us a little bit about
the aquatics world as a whole is very interested in what we do here in Mission Viejo. We are very well known for the sport of swimming, thanks to the city's partnership and really allowing us to utilize this facility. Currently, we have the Masters Nationals bid for 2019, so that's a little over 2,000 athletes countrywide.
Now that is a big deal.
That's a really big deal. We're talking hotels, restaurants, the whole 9 yards. It'll get a big influx of people from all over the state to represent here at Masters Nationals. So we're very excited about that, and we feel pretty confident we're going to get that bid in 2019.
That's wonderful.
For 2018, we already have won the bid for the U.S. Zones diving competition, which will be for all divers 18 and under. The nation's best divers will be out here in late May. We have the Swim Meet of Champions, which I believe is in our 52nd or 53rd year, coming back to Mission Viejo, which is a great meet that pulls in talent from all over the world and Olympians alike. And then in addition to that, we just received news that we will be hosting the Junior Olympics in late July as well, so
wow.
of 2018. So we're very excited to bring these events to the city of Mission Viejo.
So let's talk a little bit about the sponsorships and the local business community. They kind of step up and sponsor, and not only that, they reap a lot of the benefits. Talk a little bit about the economic impact.
Oh, absolutely. So every time we have an event, we reach out to the local hotels, whether it be Marriott or Hilton, and then we also reach out to the local restaurants, as we're certainly going to see an influx of people coming in to eat at pretty much all hours of the day, and we're very blessed to have that opportunity to provide to the city that gives us so much. I mean, this is an amazing relationship that we have here. That's a program that revolves around a community that's Mission Viejo.
Yeah, and you know, and the other thing that really happens is our grocery stores are very, very busy, and people are over at the shops, and we have, I mean, we have really the best medical services, because things happen at swim meets, and so people are very safe when they're here, and we take pride in that. And then we have lots of parking. And how are you dealing with the influx of people that'll be coming? And then are you going to be able, do you think, deal with the parking and off-site and shuttling?
Most certainly. I think the biggest notable one for us is that Masters National. Bringing in 2,000 athletes in this facility is not easy. And so partnering with the city and being able to have available lots to have people shuttled back and forth so that we can ease the traffic on the streets a little bit better. We know in the past that's been a big problem in competitions, bringing in that many people.
Yes.
And so, you know, partnering with the city is critical to us to allow us to be able to shuttle people back and forth and bring them to the venues. It's really never been done before at other swimming competitions, so we're kind of excited to be the first to do such a thing.
That's wonderful. And I know that the hotels, we have the Ayers Hotel, we have I don't remember all the, we have a new one that's going to, at the south end of town, and then we have our Fairfield that's here, and those hotels completely fill up. Absolutely. And then it actually helps the surrounding communities' hotels.
Absolutely.
So we are an economic impact not only for our city but also for this region.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, you will go as far as San Clemente for rooms, and as far as north as Irvine. Yeah. Because we will fill up our hotels with our events. So it's pretty exciting to be able to bring that to this city.
So what do you think the chances are of us having any kind of involvement? You know, the Olympics are going to be here in either 2020, 2024. Is it 24 or 28?
24 and 28 is what we're looking at. That's okay.
Yeah, 24 and 28. What do you think the chances are that something could be held here in Mission Viejo?
So I think the chances of a competition being held here is probably unlikely. However, what we will see a lot of is a lot of the international teams traveling ahead of the Olympics and coming and training at our facility.
Wonderful.
And that's a really big impact, not only for the community to get to see the world's best athletes training in our facility, but it'll also fill our hotels and our vendors and everything else, certainly months leading into the Olympics, which will be very exciting.
That is exciting. And I'm not going to give up hope that we can't maybe get an event here.
We'll try our hardest, absolutely.
And we might, and you know, the bike race in 1984 was held here, so you never know.
And equestrian was held out here as well.
That's
so we're hoping that they'll come all the way out here.
That's right. Well, you know, it's anything else you want to share about what's coming up for our Nadador divers and swimmers?
So I think the biggest thing that we'd like to really reach out to the community at large, the city of Mission Viejo, is in the third week of 2018, June, we will be having our 50th anniversary party here on deck, and we'd love for the community to come out and help celebrate this amazing relationship and amazing facility that we have here for that party.
Well, I think that would be very fun.
Awesome.
And you know, the city has some great resources. We have this new, I don't know if anybody has gotten out to the, last week there was a luau at Montenoso, and there was an inflatable, but I can picture a lot of inflatables fitting in that large.
It's coming. That beautiful inflatable will make its way to this pool quite regularly for sure.
Well, I will not miss that. I don't know about being on the inflatable, but I will not miss that party.
Absolutely.
I'm so looking forward to that. All right. Well, thanks for being with us today
so much.
and getting a glimpse into what our swimmers are dealing with and what the future holds for this community. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, thanks for being with us. We'll be back with another segment. Hi, welcome back. We are at the Marguerite Aquatics Center just a few days later, because we have a very special guest with us today who wasn't available. She is the president of the foundation, Ms. Kimberly Barnes. And why were you not with us just this last few weeks.
Hi, I'm Kimberly Barnes, the Mission Viejo Nadadores Foundation president, and exciting reason why I missed the last interview. My daughter actually qualified to nationals, so I accompanied the team to Ohio State University. About 15 to 18 divers qualified to nationals, all age groups, and we were there for about 10 days, checking out the university, going to all the competitions. So unfortunately, I missed the I missed the last interview. But
that's okay.
Yeah.
So you were there, and your daughter was competing, and she is in what? She's in what grade? And she's in high school.
She's a sophomore this year, so she's still in the 14, 15 age group. So we were there for that, and she qualified on all 3 boards. So that put us there the whole time.
That's wonderful. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
So one of the things that I thought we would just compare and contrast a little bit, the dive tower, you are now at a major national event. How do their college dive towers and those national level Olympic competitive dive towers compare with what's being done here? Well,
I mean, the facility there is beautiful. Obviously, it's a top of the line college facility. It's indoor. And the tower's beautiful, the facility's nice, but it's also very utilitarian. It's very concrete, it's very steel and that kind of a thing, which is great and it works fine. But our tower, by far, anywhere in the country that I've visited, is going to be a piece of art, basically. It's going to be beautiful. It matches, with the stonework and the glass and all of that. There's nothing like it anywhere. So we're so excited to see it come along and to see it, slowly coming together. It's really, really an exciting thing for us.
Terrific. And so I appreciate you sharing that, because we are going to be bringing a lot of competitions here. And part of the partnership with this facility is we have fundraising that's going on. And your role as the president of the foundation is all about fundraising for the whole facility. So how is that going? Tell us a little bit about what's happened and where we're going and how you're doing on fundraising.
Sure. Well, we just finished, it seems like we just finished our spring soiree, our first one, and that was very successful. Good. We got a lot of attendance, a lot of word of mouth, a lot of excitement. So we're looking forward to our second spring soiree, which is coming up right about the time we open the new facility in March of 2018. So we're looking forward to that, getting some good momentum and, having a lot of success with that. We're doing some other little fundraisers as a foundation, bingo nights and, dinners out and certain little things like that. So we're constantly looking for fundraising ideas and, doing that.
That's terrific. So you do have, I think it's worth mentioning, you have a major benefactor that did contribute, and they were very interested in contributing to this tower that really is going to become a pretty big icon at this complex. Talk a little bit about them.
Okay, well, it's the Gilliland family. They have a daughter who is a master's diver. She finished her PhD at Chapman. She's still at Chapman University. And when all of this was happening, they got very involved and they wanted to make sure that we would have a tower, that it would be top-notch, state of the art. So they donated some funds, and they've been following all along, keeping track of where we are, and making sure that everything's coming along nicely. And they will be by probably to visit one of the fundraisers or when we have our grand opening.
That's terrific. So that's great news. So Kimberly, we're going to do a little bit of a walk around of the facility. So how do you feel the progress is coming, and are you excited for all this? And what's happening with the families?
Yes, we are. I cannot even tell you how excited the children are, the divers and the swimmers. Everybody posts, they come by and peek over the fence, and they post on their Instagrams, and it's just a lot of jibber. Everyone's, especially with the tower.
Yeah,
I mean,
you can see it driving by.
Beautiful, and the roof is on and all of that. So the excitement is building, and we're looking forward to, everything opening up for us so we can get back in here and do what we need to do.
Well, wonderful. Well, thank you. I appreciate you being here today.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, thanks for being with us today here at the Aquatic Center. We'll be back here again when this place opens, and we're super excited for that. So thanks for joining me today on Mission Viejo Today.